The first success story I'm excited to shine a light on today comes to us from the world of manufacturing. In a moment, we'll welcome Phil Del Debbio, Senior Director of Strategic Programs at Amphenol. Amphenol is one of the world's largest providers of high-technology interconnect, sensor, and antenna solutions. But before Phil joins us, let's learn a little bit more about Amphenol.
We're not just manufacturing components, we're crafting the future and empowering societies.
It's our people, leading from the front in every sector.
Aerospace, automotive, industrial, communications, and more.
Every wire, every signal, every connection.
We are committed to a sustainable world
and a brighter tomorrow.
在安菲诺，我们通过创新和产品改变生活，推动技术进步，使全球人民的生活更加美好。
Welcome, Phil. If you flew in from Dallas for Amazon Business Reshape, there's a good chance Amphenol's technologies help power your plane ride here. Phil, welcome to our version of Between Two Ferns. Please, Phil, tell us a little bit more about Amphenol.
Sure. So thanks for having me, Todd. I look forward to our discussion here today. So Amphenol, as you saw in the video, we're pretty much everything in radio frequency or what we call signal. So I guess one of the first phrases I heard early in my career was follow the signal, and that's where Amphenol is. So for my trip to go to the airport, like many people, I started with my phone. We're in the phone. I called Uber. Uber shows up using GPS. We're all over the GPS situation. Get in the car. Sirius XM radio is playing. We're one of our bigger customers. From that radio all the way to the shark fin antenna on the back of your car. We go inside the airport, go through security, and then you get on the plane. The Wi-Fi on the plane, we're probably there. So that's where it touches almost everybody that's in this room today. And then we have all of the other applications in the military, aerospace, et cetera. So we're radio signal wherever it goes.
That's amazing. People often say that it feels like Amazon is everywhere. Amphenol is definitely everywhere. So you've been a long-time customer of Amazon Business. You've actually been with us for over 7 years, which is great. Could you tell us a little bit more about how the partnership came to be and how it fits into Amphenol's larger business strategy?
Sure. So probably back in 2017, our CEO was at an event and ran into a former colleague of his and who was asking if we had used Amazon. We're using Amazon Business for any of our procurement. And he said, oh, yeah, I'm sure we are. And he said, no, Amazon Business. Mm-hmm. And he fell victim of what many of us fall victim to, what we now know as Amazon Retail or Consumer. There was an Amazon Business. So he came back to the corporate office. He kind of summoned me and said, hey, you got to go find out more about Amazon Business. So that became priority one. Whenever a CEO asks you to do something, you kind of put that to the top of the list, right? So that's where I went. And we've been working with Amazon Business ever since. So 2017, it's been a great run.
That's great. It is how it works. I agree. Also, as I mentioned earlier, I run the marketing team at Amazon Business, and these executive events are working because we got the ear of your CEO, and he spoke to you. So that's a great shout out to the Amazon Business marketing team. Now, Amphenol has a very unique structure, and because of that, you deploy Amazon Business in a unique way. Can you kind of walk us through that?
Sure. So we're highly entrepreneurial, very decentralized. Shelley referred to that earlier. We have 135 different operating units, or in Amazon nomenclature, it's groups. They all act independently. We stay out of their way. We function almost like a bank for them. We let them make connections with the customers that exist in our organizations. But at the end of the day, Amazon Business and the way it's structured allows them to run independently and uniquely while we're able to leverage the size of Amphenol across all those business units and let them do their thing.
That's great. It's one of the core aspects of Amazon Business that you can create a number of different groups. You can let them operate on their own, and with the massive selection that Amazon has, Amazon Business has, it allows you to really step back and focus on those more strategic things that I know you're concerned about.
Absolutely.
You said a minute ago that our relationship, it goes back 7 years. You know, what was it specifically that piqued your interest, or maybe the interest of your CEO, to get started with Amazon Business?
I think the first thing was, one, were we using it? And did we know if we were using it? And then everybody knows Amazon. So the fact that it was even back then, everybody knew how to use Amazon, the familiarity with it, if it had an application on the business side, it would be perfect for us. So I reached out to the contacts, I made those connections, and they basically, high level, told me, listen, this is Amazon retail on steroids. There's 500,000 more items. At the time, I don't know if Prime was in existence, but there was all of the benefits of Amazon and the familiarity. And so we knew lower pricing, high quality, search engine capability, and filters were all things we were looking for.
That's amazing. It sounds like you were in the room with us. We focused early on, really the concept was it's everything you love about Amazon, but now for business. And so what you're saying really rings true. That's what we have really striven to do for since day one, which is offer all the benefits and the ease of use of Amazon, but for your business. So it sounds like it really resonated. How has your partnership with Amazon Business evolved since those early days? And how does it continue to be a core part of the procurement strategy?
Well, it has evolved quite a bit. So we spent about a year identifying all of the different business units that were using Amazon in one form or another, work with the Amazon Business team to identify what the spend was, mostly IT, office supplies, et cetera. And then we kind of herded those cats, and we had a visibility without affecting them, and we opened up a bunch of things like the open credit line, the rebate program that exists now, and it's just a matter of continually educating them to what's available, and then leveraging the resources of Amazon, Amazon Business, AWS, et cetera, and we're looking at the newer technologies, the vending machine space that Amazon's is getting into now, like I said, the returns and any other features they're looking to do to make business friendly that maybe wasn't in the retail space.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so many things there that really resonate. First of all, getting your arms around that tail spend. It's so important for procurement teams across so many of our customers. And this concept of really benefiting from the scale of Amazon. With Amazon Business, you also get AWS and many of the great tools and services that AWS is building.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that a lot of it is, as you leverage both sides of it, we're growing together, right? So, and it's been healthy. We acquire 5 to 10 companies a year. That's not going to change.
Okay.
Able to roll them in
as
seamlessly as we're able to do now is a huge plus.
Amazing. Phil mentioned the vending machines a minute ago, which is great. Anybody who wants to check out those vending machines, we're super excited about this opportunity for Amazon Business, and you can see those down on display in the Connections Hub. So Phil, you mentioned earlier that Amphenol aims to double in revenue every 7 years, which is it's a very great goal. As you look into the future, how do you see Amazon Business continuing to support you on that journey for the next 7 years of this partnership?
Sure. So as you mentioned, our goal is every 6 to 7 years. We've done it. I've been with the company 23 years. We were $1 billion in revenue. We're now $15 billion. This thing called COVID kind of set us back a little bit, but we're right back to where we were and growing. So I think that we'll continue to leverage the resources that you bring to bear and share what our needs are and what we're looking to do to grow. Both companies are innovators in their space. We like to feel that we're the leader in ours, and obviously Amazon Business is in theirs. And bringing both of those philosophies together will do nothing more than grow at a much greater rate than we have. And we're probably growing with Amazon Business on 3 to 4x right now. Eventually that will slow down, but we're not looking to do that just yet.
Well, we love that, and we love the partnership. We like to hear, the positives, and that's much appreciated. But also, it's very important for us, as we've said a few times today, to hear the areas where we need to improve. We know that Amazon Business has a lot of opportunity to continue to grow and innovate in this space.
Yeah, I mean, the executive team has been great, and there's no doubt, there's going to be failures, right? There's going to be missteps along the way. But we are able to pilot some things with Amazon Business, which allows us to tailor them to our unique situation. And if you can kind of satisfy us, you're going to be able to satisfy a lot of the other customers out there. And again, there's going to be some missteps, but the resources, the willingness to give it a shot allows you to stay at the forefront of the industry and, continue to be grow in size and in scope.
Great. We love the partnership. Thank you, Phil. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks, Todd. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right. That was great. Thank you, Phil. Now, for another quick story from another Phil. Phil Saylor is Vice President of U.S. Supply Chain at Aramark, a food services and facilities provider that operates in countries across North and South America, as well as Europe. If you have ever eaten a hot dog at a major league ballpark or dined in a university cafeteria, there's a good chance you were served by Aramark. The scale at which Aramark operates across the globe is truly breathtaking.
We are Aramark. We are caring, cool under pressure, serve with a smile kind of people. We do everything with integrity.
We are self-starters, entrepreneurs, get things done kind of people. We deliver on our commitments.
We are choreographers, part-time comedians, community and culture builders. We respect diversity and appreciate differences.
We are students, artists, down to the last detail people. We are passionate about everything we do.
We're rooted in service and do great things for our people, our partners, our communities, and our planet. We are Aramark.
I am Aramark.
I am Aramark.
I am Aramark.
We share a passion for hospitality.
And
I create experiences.
And I create experiences that matter.
Fantastic. Let's give it up for Phil. Welcome. So Phil, welcome. I've heard that you believe Aramark has the most complex onboarding journey in Amazon business history. So can you please tell us why, and then we'll let this audience judge if they think you're right.
Yeah, a bit biased, but we imagine the most complicated onboarding that you could possibly have, and that's Aramark. I know Phil before me talked about decentralization, very much the same with us right now. The scale at which Aramark operates, the number of buyers we have and vendors across the US alone is massive. Our network includes everything, as you mentioned, from colleges, we do SMU right around the corner, to hospitals, we do Baylor University Medical Center right around the corner, to destinations including theme parks, arenas, and even national parks across the country. We manage food service at Yosemite, Denali, just to name a few. We handle retail operations, so think the clothing at the US Open tennis tournament. And we even did a special event this year. We ran the US Open golf tournament down in Pinehurst. So these are just a few of our unique operations. They're extremely complex to think about getting food to places like Yosemite or Denali, not to mention people, cars, everything else associated with it. It's a very complex operation.
It's pretty complex. Yeah? Yeah, I agree. It's very complex, and the scale of your operations, it's incredible. And I have to say that the food, that looks pretty good as well. Now, I'm sure many people in the audience have been to multiple of your locations, but when we're eating our concessions, we're not really thinking about the complexity of procuring all the items needed to make and sell the food. Could you walk us through some of the specific challenges?
Yeah, I mean, I could probably be here all day. Again, in supply chain for a food service company, food's always a little bit challenging, as I know you guys can attest. But it's extremely complicated to get things to various parts of the country. Again, keep going back to places like Yosemite, or I was telling a story last night where we do food service at the largest copper mine in the world, Codelco Teniente in Santiago, Chile, that I was lucky enough to do a project at. Just thinking the scale of getting food there, and now to mention local, sustainable, diverse, and other corporate commitments we have to do, it's very, very complicated. During our onboarding process, we mapped over 15,000 purchasing locations and really had to account for the tax purposes and the accounting issues that we have to deal with. Not to mention, we had to enable an automation with our procure-to-pay system and processing that through e-invoicing. Our solutions architect, shout out to Ryan, said Amazon Business had never completed an onboarding of that scale before. Again, might be biased, but that's just what he told us. The Amazon Business team plus individuals on my team, like shout out Connor, Kate, were amazing in getting this done as quickly as possible. To add to that complexity, we were transitioning to a new procure-to-pay system here at Aramark, and we were doing it at the same time. We really like misery. So it was a huge period of transition for Aramark, and to be honest, I was pretty skeptical initially about how it would all work. The success of the project, though, is a testament just to the dedication of your team, our team working together from a partnership perspective to really do the heavy lifting and kind of hold our hands throughout the process. And I'm a firm believer now that if Amazon Business can successfully support Aramark, they can support anybody.
Well, we love that. It's such a big challenge. And you know, one of the things we focus on building at Amazon Business really, and at Amazon over the last 25 years, is our logistics and fulfillment capabilities. So being able to bring those to bear on Amazon Business customers can really be a game changer for many, many different companies. So now, Phil, you said that you were initially a skeptic of Amazon Business, but from your vote of confidence just now, it sounds like that's no longer the case. What was it that changed your mind and convinced you to integrate with our solutions?
Yeah, it's a great question. We're a very low margin company. For those that don't understand, the food service industry is very competitive, and therefore our margins are very low. So as a result of that, procurement and supply chain are paramount to driving margins for our business. We've always had a very well-established procurement system in place where we focused on really preferred distributors, preferred manufacturers. We deal directly both with manufacturers and distributors, and really do a good job of identifying the vendors and products in key areas that are going to drive our most spend to get the best value. I didn't see the need to bring another procurement resource on hand when we looked at this a few years ago. However, as we were looking at it, we lacked really visibility into the tail spend, as you said here before. Buyers across Aramark were already, comfortable with Amazon and comfortable with the changing dynamics we have out there around needing to find things in a more flexible manner and get it quicker and easier. That created a lot of administrative burden on our employees, though, as they were looking at us trying to lock things down and them trying to be a little bit more creative. We also had roughly $6+ million in purchases being charged to either P cards or travel cards each year across thousands of different locations. We had lost control and oversight over how our buyers were making those decisions and how they were spending. And really, as a supply chain leader for our organization, seeing and controlling spend are the two most important capabilities I can possibly have access to. Amazon Business really gives us an opportunity to control that sales spend and really provide control and visibility out there.
Right. There it is again, trying to get your arms around this tail spend and your employees. Of course, we want them to buy whatever they need to keep delivering on the business, but it's best if we have control and can see and monitor and make decisions about that tail spend. As you mentioned, the technical work to get Amazon Business up and running was a pretty heavy lift, given the complexity that you described. How did it go on the non-technical side of the equation? What was the rollout like for the buyers and the admins?
Yeah, I mean, this is, to me, is one of the biggest selling points that we had with Amazon Business as a whole. I mean, everybody in this room understands how easy it is to use Amazon. I think I said I probably have 3 to 5 boxes a day that my wife purchases to our house alone, so it's very easy. Our customers and our employees also had the same easiness, though, so an adoption was very, very simple. So going back to how complicated our business was and the integration was on the technical side, getting up and running would have been way more difficult for us if we also had to go through the training of the employees around how to go on Amazon, how to place orders, and how to use the platform. So because Amazon is so user-friendly, the transition was really simple from a buyer perspective. Our users just instinctively knew how to search for an item and purchase it. However, despite that, our leadership team was still concerned that it might be too easy for users to buy things. So that was something that we really wanted to kind of get our head wrapped around. The reality, though, is setting purchasing controls has also been very simple for us. And again, another shout out to Connor, who is basically our one-man band on managing a lot of that. But we're really able to direct buyers to the items we want them to see with the Amazon interface, while still providing a robust category of business product options. For some just context on numbers, last August we had about $283,000 flowing through Amazon Business, and up in this August we had about over $1 million just in that month alone. We now have complete visibility over all of this spend. We know exactly what they're buying, who they're buying it from, and we've been able to kind of embrace this more sustainable and streamlined way to handle our procurement needs compared to the legacy processes that we're using. I think we've done a pretty good job of controlling spend thus far, but we've really only scratched the surface around what's possible.
That sounds very familiar. First of all, it's great to hear that there's no training necessary to use Amazon Business. Everything that you experience on our consumer site, you also experience on our Amazon Business site. But the other side of the coin that you mentioned is true. We hear often that we don't want it to be too easy for employees or users to buy things that we maybe don't want them to buy. And that's where some of the major features that we have on Amazon Business come into the picture, namely guided buying, where your admins can really set up those rules and make sure that while you're kind of democratizing the tail spend procurement function, you're also making sure you keep controls in place. What are some of the tangible outcomes that you've experienced having Amazon Business in place? Have you been able to better serve your customers and grow your business?
Yeah, another great question. So, I mean, when we run an event, getting supplies needs to be seamless, and now we've made it more seamless by giving another option out there. We can pretty easily now push buyers to the right items that will make our customers happy for most of the time. I mean, going back to what I said earlier, we're a low margin business. With that said, we now have an opportunity. What we talk about is kind of unreasonable hospitality is a big thing that we focus on in our world. Will Gadara is a guy that came up with the term. He's a writer on The Bear and 1 Madison Avenue. Highly recommend reading it at some point, but that's an area that something in Amazon Business has allowed us to be much easier for. So now we have employees that can go out there and can what we call surprise and delight our workforce by getting certain things very easily that can be unique out there and allow them to operate within the scope of what we want them to do, but also do certain things out there. Also, LTOs are a different world for us now. We can really push people to being able to do certain events, whether it be a Halloween event coming up or a Thanksgiving thing, being able to get that now across 15,000 disparate locations across the country is a lot easier for us to point people to that. Additionally, getting our tail spend under control has really enabled us to focus more on optimizing our relationships with our biggest vendors, which is another great outcome here. For example, we have one partner that's one of the largest smallware providers in the country. In our industry, smallwares are things like cooking tools and utensils. That partner is also a preferred partner for Amazon Business. Because we know Amazon Business is constantly innovating, we're excited to explore new opportunities like using Amazon Business now as an approved distribution network to access our negotiated pricing that we have with this smallwares vendor. That gives us the best of both worlds, great pricing, product, but also the efficient experience of buying with Amazon Business. We're exploring now how else we can leverage Amazon Business to do similar things like that. Not only control the items we want them to be purchasing, but also improve the relationships with downstream manufacturers that we have existing relationships with. We're also looking at how we get these partners into the Amazon distribution network and establish more favorable contracts with Amazon Business at the center. We're really just only getting started on scratching the surface there.
Wow, that's amazing. Please keep pushing us. Those sound like some great innovations, and we're excited about that.
Yeah.
So Phil, thanks for being here today and giving us a behind-the-scenes look at what you're doing at Aramark.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
That was great. As you heard from each of their stories, they were different, and I hope that elements of both of those stories ring true for everyone here as you navigate your own procurement innovation journeys. As these stories demonstrate, success looks different from one company to the next, but it always requires having team members and partners who are committed to collaboration, adaptability, and a shared vision for progress. So please, let's hear it one more time for Phil DiDebbio and Phil Saylor.